And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have music, and we're going to have psychic readings and mediumship readings, and we are feeding people, which is going to make them very happy. And we're going to have Jacqueline Ripstein with us and her amazing transformative art and books and CDs and door prizes and amazing mandalas. And I'm not going to give the rest away. But if you would, I just did, huh? If you would, share a little bit about how you got into this field, how you started doing mediumship, and why do you use humor when you work, and why the books?
Okay, well, I think how we
Go ahead,
originally...
You can both talk at the same time.
Yeah, I'll give him a chance. But I'm the record keeper. It was interesting how we actually got into this, because Martin is a research chemist, and so he didn't believe in any of this stuff.
That's the best, isn't it?
I know. It's like he thought, oh, you crazy Yanks and your psychics. But it was because when his uncle was passing, he from a brain tumor, and I was just very connected to him, and there was things that I wanted to say to him that I never really got to say. So I always promised myself I would trust my intuition, that when I got a feeling to do something, I would do it. And so I had got this hit to take Martin for a psychic reading, a psychic photograph that they have at the Sawgrass Mall.
Oh, the aura photography.
Yeah. Well, it was a bit more than that, because it came out to where he looked like Don King in pretty colors.
Oh, wait, his hair was different?
Well,
It wasn't straight?
It's more than an aura thing. It was really kind of wild the way this worked.
Okay.
And so it ended up being his mentor, Nelson, said, "What are you doing? You have spirit guides waiting to work with you. What the hell is your problem?" And he came out all pasty and shaking, and I said, "Oh, no, are you going to die? What happened?" And he said, "No, he told me that I'm really psychic, and what am I doing waiting? You know, I have guides waiting to work with me." So he started working with Martin and saw that Martin is the paranormal overachiever, and he was at university. And so he just jumped in with both feet, and it just started from there that we were in this world, which was a saving grace for us years later.
Okay, now you can talk, Martin.
As to the question why we use humor, in my book, laughter is the highest vibration. Because you can't worry and laugh at the same time.
Agreed.
You can worry and love. You can worry and listen to music. But you can't worry and laugh at the same time. So
That's
laughter
true.
is a higher vibration. One of the highest on the planet, I would say, if not the highest at the moment. And because it'll take you out of where you are into something better every time. Now, I found out a long time ago that people generally don't want to be educated, taught anything. They don't want to be healed. But if you entertain them.
You can slide all that in there.
That's true.
Dearie.
No, that is totally true, because at my galleries, I often will make fun of things and get people laughing before we do anything. We do energy exercises, and we do little things to help open them up. And by the time we actually get to doing a reading, everybody is loosey-goosey. They're open to receive. Even if they hear something that they wouldn't necessarily agree to, they're open to saying, okay, I'll sit with it. Let's see what happens. And I get a lot of phone calls with people saying, I thought you were full of baloney, but here it is a month later and so happened. Or, my doctor told me the same thing, or my therapist said the same thing. I hear that a lot. It's really quite interesting because, that information that comes in really is divine. It is not me. I'm just the messenger sharing information. And that healing is not limited to the physical body. It's that emotional body. It's that spiritual body. And I know you two have had your more than fair share when it comes to that.
Oh, yeah.
If you would share a little bit about your son, Andrew, and why we have an It's All Good Day.
Well, that's my cue. When we lost our son 4 months after a leukemia diagnosis, it was coming up on his first angelversary, and I didn't know how I was going to survive it. I thought it can't be a year since I've hugged my son or heard his voice, and I was really coming apart at the seams, and I thought I have to do something to change this energy. And so I thought I'm going to change devastation into celebration. And our son during the entire time was always happy. His teaching that he always chose to be happy. Even going through aggressive leukemia treatment, he told me he was happy because he chose to be. So I thought, okay, let's create a new memory of this day. And his favorite saying was, "It's all good." All the time. Andrew, how you doing? It's all good. I'm doing awesome. What's your pain level? 10. So I decided that on his first angelversary that we were going to have a welcome home party and a big celebration celebrating him and his attitude of gratitude that he used all of the time. And every year we've done something spectacular to celebrate him and his legacy and what he's taught us about turning devastation into celebration. And I can't think of a better way to honor our son than carrying on his tradition, his legacy, his attitude, than to do that. Because I know my son didn't come here to fade away.
No,
And this is how I
absolutely not.
keep his light shining even brighter.
You think a child who has the ability to go through something so horrific, who can maintain humor and still maintain love, and there's no anxiety about leaving, there's no anxiety about even what he's going through, and just saying, okay, next, and flowing through it. There's a message in that. That's a master teacher in a child's body. That is not somebody who just comes in and disappears. That's somebody to be remembered. It's comparable to Buddha, or comparable, and some people might get mad at me, but Jesus. And the reason I say this is because master teachers like Buddha, like Jesus, Moses, we can go down the list as far as the numbers and the names, but they all come in to serve a purpose. And the purpose is to teach others and to teach us that we are more than just the physical that we're in, and we can live in joy and we can live in love. And the fact that you had such a strong lesson in that, I think, tells the world that it's a responsibility to continue to share his message. It was not just for you.
That's exactly true. And it's interesting that you bring up Jesus and Buddha, because Andrew was studying Buddhism the year before. And after he passed, his friend that was 3 years younger than him, Andrew was his rock, and he was just devastated. But he would spend time with us, and he told me, he goes, if I didn't know better, I would have swore Andrew was Jesus himself. He was really that good.
Amazing, truly.
So we were really, truly blessed to have had, to be able to be in his presence. And I knew that in the hospital. I looked at Martin and I said, we're in the presence of greatness here. I mean, I was just blown away on how he could always choose to smile, always choose to be happy, even while going through, because I thought it was going to change him.
Weren't you in the presence of greatness anyway before he was born?
What, with you?
Really,
saying.
you kind of missed the boat there.
Just saying.
Well, I knew you would remind me.
Okay.
Now, this is the kind of stuff we get into at the shows. We get really harmless banter, one would say.
Now, what I want to know is, does a little leprechaun come out? Because
What?
What, did she just say that? Did she just say
Hey,
that?
listen, you want humor? I can go there. And it's a matter of where your mind goes in
Well, he's
respect
Irish,
to
and if he
where
has,
that goes.
he will not admit to a little leprechaun.
Okay.
Okay, so we can have a great big leprechaun, but the point is, you have an Irish lineage.
Medium-sized leprechauns are okay.
I have a friend who does a lot of spiritual work, and
Yeah.
he takes on a Hindu personality, a little old Hindu individual, and you would swear if you closed your eyes, you were sitting in India, listening to the wisdom of this Hindu person.
Right.
So actually, that's where I was going with it.
Right.
I wasn't going the other end, but that tells me where your minds are, in the gutter, and that's okay. Mine's there oftentimes, too.
Well, we can see where we're going on Friday.
Yeah. Well, I want to
Be
clarify
interesting.
too with everybody. They think if you're spiritual, you don't think about those things, and actually, the opposite is true. When you are engulfed in that spiritual environment, when you are engulfed in dealing with energy and higher vibrations, your physical being wakes up even more.
Oh, it does.
It is not a matter of you are just a vessel for that energy. It has to go somewhere because it literally is a higher frequency than what the body can handle if you don't make adjustments, if you don't elevate. And part of that is being physical.
Yeah.
So the humor, the physicality of things, the sexuality of things, that's all a part of it, because you figure we are whole entities. You can't have one part without the other. And speaking of that, we obviously tap into our psychic abilities. Now, you saw that photo, you had that conversation, they told you, hey man, you're pretty cool, you're on super speed with psychic stuff, what are you doing? What happened next?
Well, then he started doing readings. Well, actually, Nelson kind of gave him a baptism by fire. Nelson would invite him to psychic fairs, and thinking that he's going to follow Nelson, Nelson's like, read that person, read that picture. So he was kind of just thrown right into it. And what Nelson
Who was Nelson?
was his mentor, who actually gave him the reading,
Yeah.
that kind of woke him up. And here's an interesting thing for people to understand. Everything's energy. So
Yes.
what Nelson explained to him, he goes, you can read somebody's shoelaces, cup of ice, or beer mat. It's all energy.
Thank
That's
you.
all you're reading
Yes.
is energy. So once you wrap your head around that, that's why, what
Yeah.
kind of tools do you use? Martin's like, sometimes he'll use them just so he doesn't freak people out.
Right.
But it's
right. I've been
energy.
doing that for years too. Somebody say, "Well, do you do cards?" Because they're very nervous.
MasterCard, Visa, and American Express. Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to start saying that actually. But no, I have an Egyptian cartomancy deck that I've been using for 30 plus years. And actually, it's funny when you hold it, people go, wow, it feels kind of like cotton. It's so soft because it's been used for so
Yeah.
long. But I use them more to make people feel like
Yes.
comfort or create comfort.
Well, mine's the
Most of
opposite
the
of
time,
you.
I just say things. Oh, so we're going to make people comfortable and uncomfortable on Friday. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, we're going to have so much fun.
Because I'm a certified hypnotherapist. So my
I
job
am
is
as
to
well.
make you as uncomfortable, because that's what hypnotherapy is. It's an
I don't
overload of
totally
messages.
agree. Well, it is an overload, but
Yeah.
we're going to take a quick break and we come back to debate. Please join us in just a moment. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Bob, did you see Halley Elise in the paper?
Who?
The empowerment psychic, Halley Elise. They did a 2-page write-up. The columnist was enthralled. Halley went right to an issue that she was dealing with. I'm looking at HalleyElise.com right now.
What are you thinking? Should we schedule an appointment?
Matter of fact, yes. You have issues with Sue and me, my business. Take a look at her background. It's impressive, and she has decades of experience.
I want to put it on my iPad. What's her info?
Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise. HalleyElise.com. 561-755-2166.
Spell it.
HalleyElise.com.
So it's HalleyElise.com and 561-755-2166, right?
561-755-2166. That's it.
You're listening to Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise, and she invites you to visit her website for more information about all that she does at HalleyElise.com. Now, back to your host, Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise.
Want to do a test? It's like testing. One,
Check,
two, three,
check, one, two, check.
I always like testing better. Depends on if you're in the recording studio or not, right?
But if you say check, it gives you that see if it's going to
That's true, to see if there's that reverberation.
yeah.
But, reverberating is good. So we're back to that other subject.
We are again. You took it there again.
I did. I told you. You got to watch out. But before we took a break, we were talking a little bit about making people uncomfortable and making them comfortable. And, okay, you made a very definitive, broad statement
I did.
about
What a shock.
clinical hypnotherapists making people uncomfortable. And I got to tell you, I work with my clients, and yes, stuff comes up, and initially they're like, what is this muck? But then they get comfortable because they deal with it, because they learn from it, because they grow from it. So I don't know that you could really say that you just make them uncomfortable.
I did.
Well, geez.
It was kind of easy when I think back
This
on
is
it.
going to be an interesting evening, folks. That's all I can tell you. I do want to share with you our pre-rate for the event. Our discounted rate is $49. If you wait till you get there on Friday night, it's $65. So please keep that in mind. Plus, the pre-rate. I know there's a better word than that, but that's okay. Is only good through the evening of the 21st, which I think is tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. So get on the bandwagon. Don't wait till the last minute. We are having dinner also, so you don't have to worry, oh, well, it's Friday night and I'm hungry. Come out, have some dinner, socialize a little, and then we will dive in with an evening to really be remembered. There's going to be music. Speaking of music, now Andrew channels music from the other side to you. Is that correct?
Yes, he does.
Okay. And that means what? You just do a little song and dance, you hop on one foot, you play the guitar. How
I
does
do.
that work?
I play guitar. I'm a singer-songwriter, so I play guitar and I sing, and a lot of the songs are very much connected to the spirit messages, positive attitude, positive meanings, and some of them will shake your foundation a little bit, which is kind of, if you're going to move, you need your foundation shook. You know, if you need to move
Absolutely.
off. So a couple of songs like that, a couple of songs that he got me connected to the dolphins, and I got some dolphin pilot whale songs
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
directly
it's
from
great.
them.
I love the song.
And they're not, to me, the messages that I'm getting from them now, it's not, there's no more pulling punches. It's time for everybody to step up.
Good.
Because we are all being awakened, and we know we are. We can feel it. And there's a lot of us that are stepping forward, but there's some still a little bit. That's what we're here for. Call
Well, that's
us.
it. Well, that's it. We are people in our, if you will,
Yes.
line of work are here specifically
Yeah.
not to just say, "Oh yes, Johnny's going to marry you," or "No, he's not coming back. He's been with that other woman for 3 weeks." You know,
He's been,
that's
he's
not.
been living with his boyfriend for 2 years.
Yeah, I wasn't going there.
I mean, this is reality check,
Well,
okay?
yes, oftentimes. Hello, take a look, you know. But the truth is, yes, we're going to deliver psychic messages,
Yes.
but it's not limited to mundane
No,
things. The idea that everybody is awakening, that there is, if you will, a restlessness that's taking place, it's because there is a literal shift in the hertz vibration of the earth. There is a shift within the frequencies of individuals and where they're at in the world. You're finding a lot more people who used to think this stuff was a bunch of baloney, who are saying, I had that weird feeling, and all of a sudden it showed up. Kind of like you, Martin.
Absolutely. I was the world's biggest skeptic because my degree is in industrial chemistry. And since then, I've gotten other degrees in hypnosis. My PhD is in metaphysics. So I've kind of gone more that direction. But I believe that there's scientific proof for all of this.
Absolutely.
If you keep an open mind. I mean, we don't know all the physics yet,
No.
but doesn't mean it doesn't exist because we don't know it yet. So it's kind of
Don't
cool.
you find, too, that quantum physics qualifies
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the information that comes through intuitively? And when you work with clients that you probably have what I do, a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, my doctor told me that," or
Yeah.
"Oh, my psychiatrist told me that," or "My therapist," and if you think about it, we would not be able to tap into that information unless it was of value for the person
Yeah.
and unless that frequency was literally within our space.
Yeah. And not to understand as well that quantum physics is probably one of the top levels of physics in this existence. But if you go one galaxy out, they're probably teaching that to their kids in kindergarten.
Well, that's what Andrew
Wow.
understood was quantum physics at 6 years old.
It's
He knew.
incredulous.
Yeah.
What the bleep do we know was his favorite movie. He was when that movie came out, he was about 12, and he said, "Mommy, this movie gives me a voice. This is what I know."
Right. And I find that's true, and it's funny, it gives me chills, but I find that's true with so many kids. You know, we can say that and you mentioned earlier about your granddaughter, we're living in the modern age. The kids, they're doing FaceTime, they type better on the computer than we ever did on typewriters. You know, from 2 years old, they're playing games on the computer, they know how to
Yes.
operate all sorts of devices. And yet, on a spiritual end, they seem to have this presence that's stronger
Yeah.
than we've had, or perhaps not stronger, but they're more aware.
And comfortable.
They're more comfortable. It's a part of them. They don't have to explore it. They don't have to prove it. It just is.
Yes.
And that's fascinating.
But that's because of us. We were the pioneers, our generation.
I
Our
agree.
generation, yeah.
You know, we built the
I
cities and
agree.
the towns, if you want to look at it like that, and now they're just moving into them. So it's
Well,
Like
we-
anthills.
what we've come to understand with raising an avatar is that these kids are coming here not forgetting who they are. And like what he was saying, our generation was coming in and kind of scouting out and kind of healing a lot of the past patterns so our kids could come in and be who they came here to be, is what we have found, and that they won't be silenced. And I mean, now, you know, they try to label them ADD, ADHD, learning disabled. My son was labeled all of that, which is why we had to homeschool him. And all I can say to parents is, you've got to be your child's advocate. Don't settle for the status quo. To me, the
Agreed.
zombie apocalypse is happening now by the medication of our children, and making sure that they sit in their seat, they don't have a free thought, that they keep them in this little box.
Well,
we won't allow it.
We could get into the whole thing about eliminating the arts programs from schools
Right.
and
And music,
eliminating
yeah.
exercise, eliminating music, all of these things that have to do with that creative aspect, that have
And
to
higher
do with higher
vibrational energy,
vibration.
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, think about Mozart and Beethoven, and the fact that if you listen to classical music, it's been proven scientifically, you do better in math if you listen to classical music. You have more mental acuity, and yet our school systems are saying don't do that, and all the children should be medicated, so they should be little soldiers. No, I think it has more to do with, and we could take this in a whole different
Right.
direction,
I know.
but politics and money than it does
Absolutely.
with the viability of a child's education or evolution. And again, we could go somewhere else with that. I don't really want to do that today because I want to talk about what we're doing. So I'm going to give a little teaser here. We don't know the exact number of people that are coming because I've been getting phone calls, all week, and today more phone calls. So I'm going to reiterate, if you want to join us, do so beforehand. Make sure you get online. And if you're like, oh, well, where do I get the ticket? What do I do? And I was teasing with you guys earlier. It's been advertised everywhere. Like there's flyers all over town. It's on all the social media. It's in emails, and people go, huh? So look at HalleyElise.com. You will find that there's a link there on the very front page and that home page. It gives you lots of information. You can pay right there. It makes it very easy. If you have any questions, you, of course, can call me during office hours. You can call after office hours, but you won't get me.
No.
You can just
Call anytime you want, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Call whatever you want, but you're only going to get me during office hours if I'm not with a client. No, that's really the way it is. But
Right.
the point is, when Friday rolls around, we are going to be playing with energy. So it is not just like, oh, I went and I sat and I had a psychic reading.
Oh, no.
No.
You are going to feel it. You're going to feel the room transform. We only have a couple of minutes. Any chance of getting a little sneak peek as far as sound, song? Think I can squeeze in like 3 minutes? Or is
Have a
that
guitar
pushing
with
it?
me.
Yeah, he doesn't have his guitar with him.
Aw.
I know.
Okay, I guess we'll have to wait till Friday. They'll have to wait and see what happens.
Right? It'll be a surprise.
Yeah.
That's it. It'll be a surprise.
Some cool songs. Might do
Absolutely.
a dolphin song.
That would be good. I'm trying to think of which one we had fun with on the other show.
Only
And
Love is Real.
that was it.
Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. The words
The
in that
classic,
were
yeah.
just beautiful, and the melody just kind of takes you away. So I'm really looking forward to that. Even though I get to play, and as you know, I'm not shy. I open my mouth. We'll talk. We can have this little banter back and forth between all the three of us and have a great time. And with Jacqueline there, oh, we're going to have a blast. She is, you'll get to meet her
Good.
actually Wednesday evening. I'm going to share quickly with everybody. Jacqueline Ripstein, who is a phenomenal artist. You can look her up online. Just type in JacquelineRipstein.com. She's going to be at Books and Books in Coral Gables this Wednesday doing a book signing, and we're going to be there too. So if you want to come out and see what we really look like in person,
Test the waters.
test the waters a little bit, exactly. We'll be there that evening before Friday, so that's Wednesday. And I do want to share very quickly, and a totally different subject, kind of, sort of, Calypso Salt and Soap. Amazing. You may have heard the Sea Witch on my cohorts program recently, and she was talking about the quality of the soaps and the layers. They're all holistic. She is divinely guided to create product. And the reason I'm sharing this is because she's helping to sponsor our show for a little while, and I wanted her to get some attention. But the most amazing heavenly scents that literally are in vibration with you, like the scent that you're
Nice.
drawn to, is the one that you want to get. And you can layer, so you can like bathe in this luscious soap, and then you can put on the creams, and then you can do the fragrance, and you're all set.
Keep looking at me as you're saying that. I'm like, who the hell are you talking to?
You-
Sounds
actually,
divine to me.
Actually, they're for men and women.
I'm like, why is he looking at me?
But it's Calypso Salt and Soap.com. So I just wanted to share that. Are you trying to tell me that I'm telling you something? No, I'm just kidding. As you can see, we are going to have a lot of fun. Let's give out your website. I know the folks that are watching are seeing it on the screen pop up every once in a while, but if you will share verbally for those who are listening.
Our website is www.pureheartcenter.com, spelled correctly.
Yeah, so pure, P-U-R-E, heart, H-E-A-R-T, center, C-E-N-T-E-R.
Now, we've got a few websites, but we're trying to dump everything off of this one. This is the hub. So if you
That's a
go
good
there,
idea.
you'll get to her blog.
Right.
You'll get to the new mandala stuff that we're doing, and all of the other stuff that's going
Since
on.
you brought that up, tell me about the mandala, because I'm seeing them. They're fabulous. What are you doing? Sketching? We ran out of time.
Oh, dear.
I guess they'll have to come on Friday
Absolutely.
and hear all about it, and you'll have to tell me at dinner. I'm not letting you off the hook. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining in. I do hope to see all of you Friday evening. We are going to have a ball. If you have any questions, feel free to call. Go online. You can find me pretty much everywhere. Just type in Halley Elise. Thank you, and have a beautiful evening. Good night.
Be enchanted and delighted. Connect each week here on WNN for the Halley Elise Show. Also on Facebook and at HalleyElise.com. Thanks for tuning in.